that we will send you, and the people that has shown interest. So let me start with the presentation. Can someone admit people while I'm in presentation mode, because I don't see? If there is something, please let me know, because I don't see the people. So the structure of the agenda is a general information about the program, admissions, the student journey and the mobility, fees and grants that are, I think, cover the majority of the questions that you send. However, we will have time for questions that have not been answered that you send, but also the ones that that you want to raise in the meeting. Important, please check the website. We have updated and improved it very recently to make it more accessible, more navigate is better, the information is better structured. Check the videos about the different phases and the application process. The application process is going to open 15th of January, but you need to prepare several documents so you can start or use your holidays. This is why we are doing this session today. So this is the Alliance. CHARMU is the acronym means Challenge-Driven Accessible Research-Based Mobile European Universities. And we are composed by these 9 universities. One of the questions that you put there is if all of us are there in the program. Yes, the 9 of us. And the program is recognized in all our countries, so it's official in all of them. It's official in Europe, by the way, but it's and I will give the floor to Tina, that is from Obo Academy University, and she's also involved in. We have Valerie Borrell over here. She's the director of the master, and Tina is the vice chair, but also very involved in the master. Just let me know when you want to move the slide, Tina.
Yeah, thank you, Mary-Jo, and good evening, everyone. Good evening from Finland, Turku. So it's nice to be here and present the master's program to all of you today. I think you all maybe have a sort of overall picture of the program if you have visited the web pages. But this slide here sort of summarizes the structure. We have 4 phases, 2 years, 120 ECTS. So that's the program in numbers. The phase 1 is the so-called preparatory phase that consists of 3 different modules, and that's common for everyone is taking that module. And that gives sort of the introduction to the program, covering topics such as social innovation, sustainability in general, and then the transdisciplinary research. Then after that, the phase 2 is the so-called flexible phase. So there the students can choose one of these 4 phases: food, water, one of the 4 module tracks that we call food, water, life and health, and energy and sustainable cities. And all of these tracks then also consist of different modules. So this is the first year in a nutshell. And then the second year of the master's starts with the experiential phase. And there the main part of that phase consists of the internship. And that's a 4-month internship. But then we also have an internship preparation, and also looking forward to the final phase, to the capstone phase. We have a capstone preparation module in the end of that phase. And the 4th phase is the capstone. That is the sort of a grande finale of the whole program. That's sort of a thesis work that is still done in a group in collaboration with external stakeholders. But I think we will talk more about the capstone phase later during this presentation. Yeah, I think here on the other things in this slide, we can see some keywords. You have maybe checked them already. I would highlight here maybe the first one, a transdisciplinarity. That's, I think, really a core of this program, that we have students with different backgrounds, and this program is really transdisciplinary as a wholeness. student-centered. The whole program is, the teaching is happening in so-called hybrid classrooms. So the students in different locations are connected to each other via these hybrid classrooms. Next slide, please.
If it wants.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And here we have also maybe part of the same keywords. Sustainability is of course the core of our educational principles, and of course core of this program. When we talk about the global challenges for sustainability, I think that's natural. But then if we look at the program learning outcomes, so there we have the same word, sustainability, transdisciplinarity, but also solving challenges. So we utilize this challenge-based learning as a method. A lot of collaboration, communication included in the program as a sort of natural part of all of these phases. And the next slide, please. Here are some examples of the recent capstone projects. I think I will not maybe say more words on this. We can maybe continue, or do you, Anissa, maybe want to jump in and say something of the capstone at this stage already?
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Or do you prefer that we wait until the question later, Marichel? What do you think?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so capstone is a very exciting part. As Dina mentioned, it's the final phase, let's say, of the master. Students will work both in group but also individually. So it's equal with master thesis. But what exciting about capstone is that the students will work with a real stakeholder and try to address a real sustainability challenge that is experienced by the stakeholder. Yeah, and there are a lot of different projects. So we have now until cohort 4. We work with so many different actors, so including academics, but also NGO, the UN agencies. You can see in this slide. So we have worked together with the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD. Some students work on the project related to finding financial mechanism that works for desertification initiatives. And yeah, we also work with the UN Climate Change as well, and other type of organization like World Resources Institute, and even sustainability startup company as well. So we have a very diverse type of stakeholders that work with students. But the interesting part is that we are not only looking at the scholarship aspect, so the usual normal traditional thesis, but also looking into potential solution prototyping and also the capstone product that will be useful for the stakeholder and society in general. Yeah, so I think that's in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you. So I will jump into how to apply. This is also many questions from you were from here. So it's a step-by-step process. First thing, please check the website. Everything is there. Now it's more clear, very better structure. So learn more about the program, but also the admission requirements. I will explain them today, and probably we will do a Q&A session before starting on the 15th of January, but you have an advantage because you are here and you can start preparing for this start application form. There is a link, so you can enter and start filling your data. You need to do it before the deadline, and the form also requires documents, documents about your transcript, about your CV, and the other things that are required, about your level of English, and so on. When you do the application, you will receive a code, because if you have not finished when you start the process, you can access again with that code to finish the application. You need to pay for it. There is 30 something 30 something euros just for the application, for us to go ahead and review all the documents you have produced. And then you will receive a notification of acceptance after assessment. I can comment the calendar on this, but we will talk about this later because it's something that that is also important for you. When you accept the process, you are required to pay part of the tuition fee. It's not something that you lose. It's part of the amount that you're going to pay. So this is a process in summary. Check the section how to apply it. The first admission process is starting 15th of January till 8th of February. As you will be allocated after each round, as soon as you apply, as soon as possible that you get your first option of location. I will explain how we do this process later. And the admissions will be communicated on the 27th of February. And the second period, if we have places, will be open by 9th of February. The admission period closes 22nd of February. And the communication of this second one will be 13th of March, okay? Important that you check the admission rules and regulations and not just the section how to apply. It's linked there, no problem with that. Okay. Access requirements, a bachelor or equivalent. Your degree must be completed by August. We cannot admit people that has just a subject that will be finished in October. Okay, so you need to complete it by August. That is the last moment that we can register the last students that will graduate at the end of the academic year. C1 English level or equivalent is needed. There are admission regulations. That is the list of accepted certificates. Please check. They have to have the 4 dimensions: reading, speaking, writing, and listening. But B2 is accepted for the admission phase. Okay, why? Because we think that if you have a B2, you cannot have a C1 before the registration if you have no English certification at the time of admission. It would be very difficult that you achieve the C1. The selection criteria, or how we rank or how we assess the students, this is also a question that you have made in your request. Is really the GPA is not that important. Okay, we have other topics that we consider more important in this master. So the grade mark is 10 points. You will see how much of these 10 points can you obtain with your GPA. But then we have 45 points for 2 sections. One is general academic competencies that measure analytical and critical thinking, sustainability, literacy, and personal reflection, and personal competencies about soft skills. You will see which ones: oral communication and commitment to the program entry. This is very important for us. What do you need to submit? What can you prepare during the holidays? Your CV, a video, audio answering interview questions that are also in the website, indications how can you structure the interview, and a product using a specific and local challenge related to sustainability, and create a coherent and comprehensive product summarizing the challenge, interrelated issues, and potential solutions. The format can be selected by you. It can be an essay, a poster, a video, a booklet, whatever you imagine that can be a very communicative product. Saying this, another important question that you are worried about, how is the student journey? Okay, so you start the preparatory phase, the phase 1, September 26 to January 27. The starting points are Trinity College Dublin, Utrecht University, and Eötvös Loránd, if we are around 75 students, if we go over 80, we will open Julian Maximilian University Würzburg, and if we go over 100, Ruhr-West University of Applied Science. So you need to rank your location. I will explain this later, and you are allocated in one of the starting universities, as I mentioned. Phase 2 is a flexible phase. You need the mobility is compulsory in this phase, so you need to move, and you are going to move pursuing the track that you choose. The track you choose your track during the admission, and with this we do some preparation, but we request your confirmation in the enrollment process to be sure that we can open the locations depending on the number of students. And this is a distribution. We have the water track that is in 2 locations if we are over 20, food track that can be in 2 or 3 depending on the number of students. With 30 students we open 2, over 30 we open more. Life and Health, there is 1 track in University of Barcelona, and Energy and Sustainable Cities that also have 3 locations if we have enough people. So this is more or less structure, and then we start with your experiential phase in the academic year 27-28. You have this trainship, internship, and +2 preparatory modules, and you can decide to stay in your second semester location, return to the starting university, or choose another place for doing this. And at the end, the capstone phase, the master thesis, that is the last semester, all the universities have the same conditions. You can again stay or move again. Very important for the master level, you only have access to 2 periods of 6 months with an Erasmus Plus grant. So to make simple your election, we are not covering the experiential phase with an Erasmus Plus grant to ensure that you can move to following your interest in the capstone project that we are going to offer. This is also a process that Anila can explain, Anissa can explain later, but there are capstone project provided by local or global external stakeholders. So you will choose the location following the interest on the topic of this. What more? So what you are expected to do in the application stage, you need to rank your choices by semester, phase 1 university, and your track, water, food, life and health, or energy and smart cities. So this is how we will open the different locations, as I mentioned, and you are assigned whenever possible to your first choice location, keeping a balance between locations. So if we have, let's say, 75 students and 30 have asked for Trinity, and the others, we try to balance this, not going for farther than second choice or so. The students that don't get the first choice and if possible will have preference in the second phase. Okay, what we have into consideration for this, of course, the points that you get in the assessment, but also we try to enhance your experience, transdisciplinary and intercultural, by ensure diversity in the classroom. So mixing as much as possible your academic backgrounds and your not nationality is where are you coming from the 4 areas of Europe, North, South, West, and Central East, or non-European, okay? So this is how this works. Tuition fee is something that also it's important. When you, and because there was a question not only about the fees, but also about the payments, when these payments are produced. So when you accept the admission, you will need to pay to advance 600, that is part of this fee. Each academic year cost is 2,500. So you will pay this 600 around February, March, April, the first thing. In the enrollment around July, you will pay the rest of the first academic year, so 1,900, and the second academic year is paid in a block in July, 2,500. For non-Europeans, this is more expensive. There is 24,000. Okay. Questions that you have done about the grants. There are several options at the national level that are provided in the website, and CharmEU offers a 5% of students finally enrolled to 2 grants, the tuition fee that is covered, and 1 mobility that is an income that you produce, a transfer of 2,200. Sometimes we, depending on the cases, we have split this and we have give some tuition fee to some and mobility to others to have more, to be more inclusive. So we decide every year. So the last thing is I want to give the floor, before going for your questions and answers, I want to give the floor to Laia. Laia is a graduate from the program from 2024, 4, not sure.
25, yeah, January 2025.
Okay, okay. So Laia, if you want to express your how it's from the student perspective to study in CHARM.
Yeah, I'm going to give a quick summary, and then if anyone else has questions, they can ask them and I can go more into detail. But I feel CHARM is a very interesting opportunity because it brings together people from different backgrounds. So, for example, in my case, I studied politics and I wanted to learn more about environmental sciences and sustainability. So for me, this was a good opportunity to go somewhere where I could learn from many different peoples and in many different ways, because you can really decide what you want to specialize in. As you've seen, there are many paths and tracks that you can take, and that leads you to find your way a little bit as you go. Because first, in your first location, during your first phase, you get some base subjects about sustainability, social innovation, and transdisciplinarity. And then you can get a base, and you do a lot of group projects. So you get to interact with a lot of people in location, online, and get a bit your hand around it and see how it works. And it teaches you a lot of like working online and working with people that you just met and just creating projects. And then once you have this phase, you go onto your second phase and you get to choose your specialty. And then you also do a lot of projects, but you're a bit more narrowed on what you're learning on. And then once you've completed this first year, you have your experiential phase and you can put it into practice. So you can do your internship, and then you can do your capstone project where you also get to work from people outside the classroom. And I think that's very valuable and interesting. And you get to move around a lot of universities and learn from different cultures in a more like social way, but also in how different countries study and do university. So yeah, overall, a very good experience, if I say so myself.
Thank you, Laia. So I will start with some of the questions about the admissions, and I will give the floor to others. This program is not an online program, okay? It is physical. The students are distributed in the different campus. and the classrooms are connected through the hybrid classrooms because the delivery is not from one university, one module. Several universities participate from different disciplines from different universities. So maybe at 10, the lecturer is from ELTE Budapest, at 12 from Barcelona or whatever. So this is the formula. It's a synchron program, so it's not online. Also, there is a lot of teamwork, cross-campus teamwork between the students that it's permanent during the phase. So you are working with the same people in other campuses. For the admission, we are not asking for reference. All the backgrounds, disciplines are welcome. The acceptance rate, that is something that you mentioned, we are around, let's say, 75% or so. So I think there is not so many people that that cannot enter. As I said, the GPA is not that important for us. There are other questions that are important. I think there is a question about if all the modules are available. If I interpreted correctly, the question is, if you choose water, you need to go for the modules in water. You cannot choose one of water, one of energy, and so on, because it's the way that we have designed that you can achieve the PLOs. And I think there is no interview. That this was a question, except that you are with the same points with another candidate. In this case, we can decide to have an interview to solve who is a bit up or a bit down. So I will address other questions. There is a conceptual questions that I don't know if Tina, Pita, Anissa or Valerie want to answer. It says, as the world works toward a more sustainable future, how can global climate policies be shaped so that they genuinely respect people's life realities, especially those most affected by environmental change, and ensure that the transition is fair, inclusive, and grounded in global climate justice? Who want to take that one? Peter.
Thank you for this interesting question. I would say that there is not a single answer to this question. There are many puzzles, many pieces of the puzzle that need to fit together to provide a comprehensive solution to the different global environmental crises we are facing today. It's not only about climate change, but also biodiversity loss. And I would say, if you're interested in this type of sustainability challenge, our master program is the place to be, because within the context of this master program, we will jointly look for solutions and also in collaboration with stakeholders.
Thank you. Anyone want to add something? Anissa?
Just to add what Pita said, I think to find a solution, it's not enough to only work on specific disciplinary perspective. But then in that sense, it's really needed to bring all different perspectives. So even within scientific and with the knowledge of the extra academic stakeholders, let's say. And then that's really embedded in our program, as you can see with the way we included transdisciplinarity as one of the focus of the assessment as well, the way we also shape the project within the different phase. So it's really focused on challenge-based learning. So looking at the challenge and then go back and see what are the root cause of the problems and how we can solve such complex challenges. So that includes climate-related issues, disasters, biodiversity loss. So more of a systemic perspectives of addressing different type of environmental risk.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I change a bit the question. There are some questions also about how much we facilitate accommodation. That is not an easy question either, and I will send it to Femke. Do you want to? Because it's diverse. Not every city is the same. Not every institution has the same resources. So, Femke, do you want to make a map or?
Well, I think you already covered it, Marichel. Thank you. Yeah, so I completely understand the questions about housing and accommodation. First of all, every university, every campus helps students find accommodation. The help that is offered differs a little bit per university, because the housing situation differs per city. So, for example, in Utrecht, it's quite difficult to find something, while in other cities it's more easy, or even there are some reserved spots for our students. On the website, when you look at our campuses per city, you can see a little description of the town of each city with links to the websites. And if you follow those links, you can find information on the housing, accommodation, living expenses, and all those practical things that you need to know beforehand. If you want more information, there is us. And with us, I mean GVAO, so your administrative officers. Every campus has one, and you can contact us with, any practical, administrative, any question, actually, really. We are here to help you find your way.
Okay, thank you, Femke. I will integrate some other questions. There are not requirements of to have an internship previous to that program. Again, all disciplines are welcome. And there is a question that there is not a requirement, but maybe Pita, Valeria, and Anissa and Tina has some recommendations, because there are several questions about if they need some previous knowledge that they need to advance, or because I think, and maybe they will explain better, if there is something when you are lacking something, your mentor probably help. But I will give the floor, I don't know, Valerie, Anissa, who wants to answer?
You mean to find the internship? This is the question?
No, sorry. That some of the candidates are worried if they need like previous knowledge on sustainability, on other matters.
I think the student needs to come from a specific background, which is not necessarily sustainability. And we will all together learn all the core principles that Tina showed you. This is very important, the sustainability, transdisciplinarity, and so on. This will be learned to each of you. And what will be very interesting in this situation is that you will have different backgrounds. So if some of you are from different domains, it's okay. If some of you have no previous knowledge in sustainability, it's okay. And if some of you have already an internship, I've done an internship before in the past, it's good, but it's not compulsory neither. You will have the opportunity to do an internship, which can be quite long, very focused on all this topic. So you will all have something to share with the other, and you will all have the opportunity to learn with the internship that will be dedicated in CHAMP. Furthermore, after the internship, you will have the capstone, which is a kind of biggest one, I will say, because it's in team also. Yeah, but I think we will discuss capstone later on. I don't know if I answer. Let me know.
I think so. There is anyone that want to add something? Anissa.
Yeah, I think one thing maybe, but it's more of a soft skill. It's a willingness to learn and openness, I think, because there are so many things to learn within the program. Both like in phase one, you learn about all the concept and theory on sustainability, but then move towards working together with other disciplines in the transdisciplinary model, and then looking at solutions with social innovation, let's say. And then there are different topics to explore, from water to energy to life and health and food. And then in internship, you will really see different type of challenges outside of the academia, in which that experience will help you also um, to be prepared for the capstone phase, let's say. So I think it's just very exciting program. And then as long as you're willing to like open to learn, I think it would be fine, I would say.
Thank you. I think that, Pita, you want to add something?
Just a brief addition. I think that for the admission procedure, it is important to notice that demonstrated interest in sustainability challenges is important. We are looking for that. So not necessarily the previous experience, but if you demonstrate interest in sustainability challenges and motivation to study this kind of topic and some insight in the product you are submitting, you will receive a higher score, so the chances are better to get admitted.
Okay, thank you very much. So we will do two or more administrative on the admissions. Someone asked how many people there is in each location, around 25 people in the classroom physically, but you are connected with all the others. So this is something. What more there was about admission? I think all the questions we have more or less covered this. There is another difficult question for Femke, not difficult, but what are the admission criteria for the non-EU? I mean, the criteria and the selection is exactly the same. The requirements are exactly the same, but the bureaucracy is not the same. And we encourage that you start with the visa process as soon as possible, because in some countries the slot is short. And for example, this year we have a person that was already enrolled, not able to come until September. We accepted a delay, but after all, the person didn't got the visa, and it's a pity. It's a pity for us, and it's a pity for the people. So those that need a visa start early. But Femke, do you want, everything is in the website, but
yeah, I do really want to stress that starting early, especially if you're a non-EU background, is very important. The earlier you get your admissions decision, the sooner we can help you with the visa application, give you advice on this. Another thing that's different is some of the documents and bureaucracy, which is outlined actually also on the website. You need some more formal stamps for validation of your degree. But other than that, it's pretty much the same for EU, non-EU.
okay, thank you. And there are two more questions, I think, about this. Something that I mentioned, but to clarify, when you enroll, or when you go for admissions, you rank your allocations and you check which track do you want to do in phase 2. Okay. Your location in phase 1 is confirmed at the moment that we send you the admission. When you accept it, we will send you the location you are assigned, because you need to be able to make an informed decision before paying these 600 euros. So you will be communicated the location at that point. You will be asked to reconfirm the track before enrollment. That will happen in May, more or less, because we need to plan in advance for this. So you will receive the confirmation of the track by that time, and your binding decision is in this enrollment. Okay. And I think this about the visa, important thing, because there are specific questions about how you can move with the visa in the mobility. This is a very tricky question because it depends on the countries, and this is not part of the educational authority, it's part of the immigration authority. And you need to be an expert for this. So we need to analyze case by case and address you to the right place to get this information. Okay, so this is why we said as soon as you start. So let's go for the mobility questions, that there are many. So Harriet here is the leader of the mobility team that is composed by people from all our universities. So one of the questions is if they can move only into 2 countries.
Yeah, that's possible because the second phase or second semester is the one compulsory that you have to go on an exchange to another university, and then you can either choose that you stay on that place or in that country to do the internship and the capstone phase, or you can return to the phase 1 university. So in fact, it's possible to be in just 2 different ones. And there was another question also that is very much related to that, and that was, can I move only to 2 countries? And yes, that's the same answer there.
Yeah. So the important thing is what I mentioned is that you can have 2 periods of 6 months with an Erasmus Plus grant that is organized by the Alliance. You will be informed when you need to apply for it internally and so on. So we can only fund through Erasmus grant 2 periods, and we have defined the second phase and the 4th phase, the last semester. So you can be sure that you can follow the capstone. Okay, this is the procedures internally will be managed by us, but with you also. There is also so you can at the end you can just move once. But you can move and stay in 2 universities, but you can move to 4 if you are interested in. There is another question that is tricky. That it's a question if people with dependent relatives or persons can move around, and there is help. It's difficult because there is also it's something that we are trying to push in Europe, that the transferability of this dependency and the help that you can obtain for that is not easy. I don't know, Harriet, if you have more information. We had a case of a mom with a small child that needs to be here in Barcelona. So it's not easy for this kind of profiles. We need to say that, but we can analyze case by case if it's possible. We have people with special needs for sure during these 5 editions, and we try to accommodate because inclusion is important for us. I don't know, Harriet, if you know if there are additional grants for these cases, or
Yes, there are
attached to Erasmus Plus, or
yeah, there are, and it's very well integrated in the whole Erasmus program, which is the program to offer the scholarships for your mobility periods, and I don't know how to interpret the dependence here, but normally it is about if you have a family with small children, and then you will have a top-up grant as well. It might differ a little bit from country to country with the scholarship sums, but I would say that in general it's an extra scholarship of 250 euros per month if you are moving around or on exchanges with small children, or one child is enough as well. And of course we will always at each university help with recommending daycare centers and schools and so on that are close to the university, so it makes life easier for the students.
Okay, so I think there was another question, but I think we have answered this, that if we organize the mobility or you need to figure out by yourselves, I would say that it's a mix of both, because the decision where you want to go is yours. How to do that is from us, okay? So this is the thing. So let's jump to another interesting subject, that is the preparatory phase. I think we have answered that one. Yeah, because it's again, if they need some new knowledge or not. In the flexible phase, I think we have answered all of them. There is a question, but it seems very specific. Maybe we can answer it later. Someone that says that starts in the second phase. This is not possible coming from outside, but we can collect it later. And then we go for the experiential phase. There are many questions. Some of them are around who provides the internships. So Tina and Pita are the module coordinators, or some of the module coordinators on this. If you want to answer, we have Jenny also, that is supporting from the GBAO, the internships. Pita.
Thank you, Mary-Jo. Yes, I'm coordinating this internship module as part of the experiential phase, together with Valerie and Tina, so they can also complement my story where needed. Indeed, we will provide support when trying to identify a suitable internship opportunity. We're 9 partner universities and a lot of academic staff involved. So the combined networks of those universities are quite large, I would say. So we are now combining relevant contacts into a database of internship opportunities. And you can use the suggestions from the database. However, it is important to emphasize that the students will always remain responsible themselves for the search and identification and for the communication of such an opportunity. So we will support you with that, but the student will do the communication. And there is a lot of flexibility in this. So the student is not obliged to pick an opportunity from this database that we are now developing. A student can also look completely independently for opportunities. So they can contact NGOs, policy institutes, companies, applied research institutes themselves. And then we check whether the kind of opportunity meets the requirements of the experiential phase. So that is about the support. I can add that at each location, there is a local internship advisor. So this person is always available to answer any questions you may have about the particular local context for the country where you would like to conduct your internship. I think in this way, I have addressed many of the questions already.
Yeah. There is one about if the internships are paid or not, and it will depend of many questions. I don't know if anyone, Tina or Valerie, want to answer. Some countries is compulsory, some others depend on the company. I can say in Spain, the public sector cannot pay. So it will depend on many factors. Do you want to add something, Tina, Pita, or Valerie?
Yes, for sure. It depends on the country. And for example, so you give the example of Spain. I can give the example of France. In France, it is compulsory to pay the students. It's more around 500 euros to 300 euros per month. But it's compulsory only if the duration is equal or superior to 2 months. Before 2 months, it's free, the company to pay or not. So yeah, for French, but I can let my colleague answer too.
Anyone want to add something?
Yes,
No?
I think it
Yeah.
varies across countries indeed, but also within a country it may vary. For instance, in the Netherlands, companies tend to pay for internships, whereas many other organizations don't. So you need to look at a case-by-case basis whether there is a payment on it.
And there is an interesting question. Is related. I mean, the topic is sets the internship, but it's about how the student can reflect and how this affects the evaluation. But I would say that maybe Pita, Valerie can answer about programmatic assessment in general. This is not the traditional way that you are going to be assessed. It's something more personal based on competences and look into your progress. But Pita or Valerie, do you want to, and how this works in general, and then how this is applied to internships? Who wants to answer? Valerie, you start with the how it works in programmatic assessment, and then, or
Pita
Pita?
is like this, so maybe Pita first.
Okay.
Valerie, you can start by explaining it more in general, and then I can specify it for the internship. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so in general, the programmatic assessment, the big idea behind is to let nobody's behind. This is the idea. The idea is that you will have to learn something, you will learn by doing. So yes, of course, you can do mistakes and you will have to improve and to take into account the feedbacks and so on. And the idea is that during the whole semester and 2 years, you will produce something, have a feedback, discuss it, try to improve and do it again and so on and so on. And for each semester, you will have minimum level to acquire, to reach, to be sure that you validated your semester. And if you cannot validate this level, okay, you will have a remediation plan during the next semester to be sure that you will be able to do it. So yeah, programmatic assessment, the idea is really to go together into all this and yes, to have a skill in the end. So maybe in general.
Yeah, thank you. It's all collected in a e-portfolio, okay, so where you are requested to reflect on yourself too. So how this is applied to the internship? Pita, maybe, or Tina?
Yes, I can explain. I'm the person who is responsible for assessment related to the internship. And we are currently designing the assessment plan, also for the entire phase, the experiential phase. And the question was related to how can I reflect on different skills, on the different programmatic learning outcomes maybe as well. And we are currently considering to do part of the assessment based on a reflection report. So that's an excellent opportunity to reflect on skills you're able to strengthen during the internship. And it is also providing a nice connection with the capstone phase, where you will further develop certain skills. And together with your mentor, you can also look into this and see what skills still need to be strengthened. So based on the assessment in the different phases, you will see how certain skills are developing quite nicely already, whereas there may be some weaker areas that need to be strengthened, and then you can pay more attention to those skills.
Thank you. So we jump to the last stage, that is the capstone, and there are two questions from Anissa. I would suggest that you can explain how is the process. So how do you capture the challenge? How do you put them for the students? How they need to prioritize, and how do you organize the groups?
Yeah.
And there is
Yes.
a question if they can follow it remotely or the team is together. Okay. And if
Thanks
it's
for
in
the question.
team project or individual one. Go ahead.
Yes. So, yeah, first of all, we will open a call for challenges to the stakeholders. Of course, we now have already kind of list of stakeholders who collaborated with us, but we will open the call for challenge openly in our website. Students themselves can also communicate or contact some organization that showed interest in submitting a challenge for the capstone project. But that stakeholders have to submit the challenge themselves in the website, let's say. And then after that, we check the eligibility of the challengers, because there are some criteria that need to be met, including the topic, the sustainability aspect, and also the commitment of the stakeholders themselves. And then we ensure that each of the challenges that are filtered is already categorized according to the host university. So it will be located, for example, in Utrecht, there will be 5 challenges. In Barcelona, also 4 or 3 challenges. So we also look into the distribution, equal distribution of challenges in each of the host university locations. And then after that, we offer these challenges to students. So students can have submitted a preferences, for example, top 3, and then they also need to actually submit motivation of why they choose this top 3. One of the consideration is if, for example, you have already prior contact with the stakeholder themselves. There could be also some requirements by the specific challenge, for example, language. So French speaking is needed of one of the group members, etc. And then we will try to group the students according to these preferences and the requirements of specific challenge. Yeah, and then after that, we start the capstone. And then students, to answer the question, Marichel, the students have to be in the same location. So one group has to be in the same location, because we really want to emphasize the importance of group work. And like what you said before, this is not an online program. So we also wanted to make sure that there is a good amount of interaction within students in the same group. And sometimes also with the stakeholders. We have a bit of reference if the stakeholders is located physically in one country, and then that challenge will be hosted in that country. So then they can also meet the student group and also with the supervisor, etc. Yeah, I think that's in a nutshell regarding the process.
And the evaluation, can you explain that there is a part that is individual and other?
Yes, so indeed, so like I said before, it's not like a ordinary master thesis. There are 2 elements. One is a group and the other one is individual. So in each challenge, there is an umbrella topic that has to be touched upon by the group. And then we will ask the student to come up with an overarching group question in which each of the individual can then think about their own contribution, so individual contribution towards answering the group questions. So you can think about having an overarching group question, and then sub-question would then entail 1 or 2, 4 individual questions that will contribute to answer the bigger question. So that's how we assess the product, the report and the product.
Thank you very much.
And one more thing is maybe, of course, I mentioned about product. So it's not only about producing a written research report, but we also ask the group to come up with a solution prototype. That could be, for example, a societal product like policy brief. Some of our students even made an art exhibition for community. It can be about sustainability website platform for reporting, for example, and many other type of creative type of product that is not just about scientific writing, but it's also about making a creative communication tools that can communicate the research for the use of the stakeholder and society in general.
Thank you very much, Anissa. The last question is that this is a full-time program. Okay, there are some questions if you can work while studying. The answer in principle is no. The workload during the week is 40 hours. Normally there are 12 to 18 that are physical contact hours. The other is teamwork with your colleagues or individual one. So we are not encouraging the students to do that. However, if there is something interesting that can help you economically and it's linked to the program, it can be done. Okay. Say that. I don't know if this has been inspiring and you have more questions now that at the beginning, or if we have answered more or less your queries. Yes, Yara.
Hello, I have a question because for me, when I saw this program, it seemed very perfect to me. Like I'm right now finishing my bachelor in an Erasmus in Montpellier. I'm studying management social innovations. And in the last couple of months, I was very interested in connecting the water cycle with social studies and social structures. So it seemed very perfect when I found that. Now, if I understood it right, it's not possible to have the phase 1 in Montpellier, right?
Yes.
But can I be like sure before I start that I can do the water cycle, like the water program in Montpellier before I start? Because I'm already living here and I want to stay here.
From our experience until now, I think it can more or less be sure because they have a spot. So.
Okay, so I would know before I start the studying that I could come back to Montpellier.
Yes.
So I sub-rent my flat for the 4 months or something, and
before paying the rest of the money. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, Amira.
Hi, thank you. This has been very helpful. I have two questions. One is about the energy track. There were 3 locations. Do you like choose one and you go to that one, or is there like mobility that happens between the 3 of them during the track? And then the other question I had was around the Erasmus funding. You said it's only applied for 2 semesters, or if you could just explain how that works with the 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. So about the energy track, if we have enough students for this track, we have opened the 3 locations. Say that we try to get balance between them. Okay. So if one spot or one location has more demand, we try to give the second choice to someone. Okay. So this is the thing. And I think Harriet can explain the scheme of the mobility about these two the grant and the mobility possibilities on the master.
Yeah. As we said already, that the second phase or the second semester is a compulsory mobility semester. So then you move from the first university to another university, and then the third phase, then you do the internship, and on the 4th one you do the capstone, like the master thesis. And for the 4th semester, you will also get an Erasmus scholarship. If you move from the phase 2 place, if so, and or in fact, you will also be able to get the scholarship even if you would stay at the phase 2, because then the first university is paying it. So you are all having Erasmus scholarships for 2 semesters, plus then also for attending the BIP, the intensive course.
So it always applies to 3 out of the 4 semesters?
Yeah.
No.
2.
So imagine you start in Trinity, okay? The stay in Trinity it's not paid because Erasmus grant doesn't understand that there is a mobility before starting, okay? So this is on yours. the next movement that is compulsory is covered by the Erasmus+. Okay, if you decide to stay, imagine that you go to Montpellier in the second. If you decide to stay in Montpellier for the third semester, this will not be granted. Okay, so the third semester is not granted, whatever the decision you take. Okay, and because we reserve the 6 months, the second period for the capstone, so you can for sure select your location not based on financial aspects, but following the academic. Okay, thank you. Yep, Felix.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting. I have two questions. First one concerning the percentage of hybrid classes and in-person classes. And the second one is more related to the capstone phase. So I just saw that most of the projects listed that have already been done on the capstone phase were more like into the direction of social topics or more general sustainability topics. I'm very interested in focusing on energy and sustainable cities. Has there been like some projects or capstone projects in this kind of topic, or was the focus more on the other tracks?
Anissa, answer you this one first, and I will answer the second.
Yes, I think it's also because before this cohort, well, energy and sustainable cities actually a new track. So I think that's one of the reason why. But I think we will try actively to look for more topics within the sustainability issues, including the energy and sustainable cities. But maybe one example is that a project that has been done last year is in Budapest. It's called, the title is Budapest City of Spas. So one of the group members actually looking into a possible sustainability options for trying to to find mechanism for the thermal aspect as well of the heating in the spa. And that's quite from a technical and natural science perspectives. And yeah, that actually falls within the energy aspect as well. But I think now that we started with this energy track, there would be more opportunities also to find more capstone challenges that link to this topic as well. But that's the only one. There has been so many capstone projects that I cannot recall. But when you said energy, in my head is the Budapest City of Spa challenge.
Tina, you had your hand, or I no? Because
yes, but it was the same answer that Anissa just gave. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other question: there is no proportion between physical and hybrid because all of them are physical. What it's different is where your lecturer is. Okay. So in general, this is a combination of lecturers. Imagine we have said that the 3 primary locations are Trinity, Utrecht, and ELTE, but the academic staff can be from Barcelona, from Bergen, or so. In some cases, or even from Trinity. If you are in ELTE, for you, the lecture will be hybrid. But these 12, 18 hours per week, I said, normally is in phase 1 is, let me check, Femke or Jenny, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, right?
Yes,
From
that's correct.
10 to 4, something like that.
Yes. So then all the students are in the different locations and connected hybrid. That's why it's called hybrid classroom. And they're all following the same class, but from the different locations.
So I understand it correctly that it's only hybrid classes throughout the whole studies program?
No, all
No.
physical, all physical.
It's all physical. You're all in the same class.
Yeah, but it's like,
which is connected.
It's like streamed, and there's like also other people joining us from other locations, or is there also classes where you
have the lecturer there?
Or just in person, and there's just a lecture in front of you, and there's nobody like joining online, or that was just my main question. What the percentage of these type of classes is where you just in person,
Right.
without anybody online?
No,
No,
the
the
thing is that it's
face-
not online exactly. It's connecting with the other classroom.
Okay.
You know, and you have a teaching assistant. If the lecturer is in another place, there is a teaching assistant on your classroom. Femke, sorry that I interrupt you.
Yeah, no, that's correct. I just wanted to also say that in phase 1, everybody is, in different locations. But phase 2, for example, you can see in the student journey that some of the tracks are in one location or maybe in 2.
Yeah.
So that differs a little bit. And in the capstone, as Anissa explained, the whole team is in the same location. So there will be online learning also in the capstone phase, but the team is all together. Correct, Anissa?
Okay. Amy. No, Anissa, you wanted to add something?
Yes, correct. But maybe just one activity that I wanted to share is also like sometimes we do have a local discussion as well, because we found it important to interact. But then the hybrid setting is still there, but then we focus on the local discussion in which then we report back in the hybrid session. So then you have both learning in the classroom with your team and your teacher, if they're there physically, and then also sharing it with the other locations who are joining via Teams, let's say. But that's not an online only
Second.
element.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Amy.
Hi, apologies. I joined late because I'm from the UK and I mixed up the times. I just wanted to ask if you've covered about visas, because obviously for me now with Brexit, it seems like this is quite confusing for some, because it's across multiple locations, and if you've covered like fees and funding, and if you have, how can I access the recording?
Okay, the recording, I think, I'm not sure how we do. We send it to the people that register in the session for sure. So you will have this and the presentation. And about the visa, what we said is that it's a very tricky question because it varies tremendously from not only from country to country, sometimes from region to region, because it depends on immigration and not from universities. So we can help, but we cannot solve, and sometimes even we cannot answer you. So we try to manage this case by case. And what we mention is that as soon as you start the process, the better, because we can inform you or address you to the right people to answer this.
Okay.
This answer your question, Amy?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Maria, Paola?
Hi, I have a question regarding, like, it's really similar to the one of Felix, but I wanted to have more precision. I don't know how to say, but still, I wanted to understand more whether so there is one professor, one lecturer that is taking a lecture maybe in another university, and all there is an assistant in our own classes, so physically, in case there are online problems. But how also the exams will take place. I wanted to understand more because this hybrid system is really new for me, because I always took lectures only physically. So I wanted to understand more.
Who wants to answer? There are not exams, by the way, but who wants to answer? Valerie or Pita, Tina, Anissa?
Yes, how it works. You are in a classroom, always with a teacher. It can be a teacher assistant, but always with someone, okay? You can have 1, 2, 3 teachers sometimes online, or one here, another one online. And the teachers will, because we have to teach transdisciplinarity, but come on, we are not necessarily specialized in the whole transdisciplinary thing. So if we want to make it in a good way, we will have sometimes to be together, to try to learn together and to cross our own point of view. So sometimes you will be in a classroom with a teacher in a classroom. For example, me in Montpellier, we are together. Okay, and GP World will be online from Trinity College. And we will do the whole session like this, working like this. If it's in a water track, all the students are there this year because we have less than 20 students, so it's okay during the second phase. So it can be this way. We didn't talk about the BIP, Marichal, can we?
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the BIP will be a 2 weeks mobility opportunity for you to move. You will have special grant for that, and you will move in a specific location. So it used to be in Montpellier. This year it was in Trinity, and it will change. The location will change. And during this 2 weeks, all the students will be together with stakeholders, with some teachers that will move and come also together. So here we will be in the field. We will work on really authentic challenges from the stakeholders during 2 weeks. Okay. When you are in phase one, it's something else because in phase one you have exactly the same classes in different locations, and so a lot of students are there. They are connected with huge screen. You know, we have huge screen everywhere in the hybrid classroom, so you can see all the other students. You can have specific a meeting will just in face-to-face with another student abroad. You can have the teacher here or there or in different locations and so on. So it's really it's no like we are here tonight. We are just alone in our home and connected online. It's not the same at all. But I don't know if you can figure it out how it is.
Yeah, and I think Laia maybe can explain better from the student perspective, but something important when I say no, there are no exams, you have several assignments during the week, okay, for your portfolio. Many of them are part of teamwork with your colleagues, normally cross campus, okay, and you are evaluated through the portfolio. So there is not final exam you're writing during 2 hours. If this is the point. But Laia, maybe you can explain. You come from a traditional bachelor, and you do this.
Yeah, it's a change, but it's really interesting. So, for example, during the first phase, you have a lot of different classes and a lot of maybe shorter lectures during the day sometimes. So you have a lot of teachers from the different universities. So it might be that day you are in the Barcelona classroom and you have a teacher there teaching the lecture during the morning, but then you have some sessions online in the afternoon that are from another campus. But then maybe the next day you have a debating class and you spend a lot of time discussing with your classmates in that class, but then you share. And maybe some other day you work with your project teammates, that some of them are in the UB classroom and some of them maybe are in Trinity or in Utrecht. So you're working with your team, but in hybridly, more or less. But then during phase two, as they said, it's smaller groups, so you have a lot more in-person lectures, I would say, like comparing to phase one. Then, well, internship is different, and capstone, you only, if it says the same, you only have classes once a week. So maybe you don't have as many in-person lectures as in the other phases, because a lot of them are more workshops or activities that you connect with all the classrooms, and it helps you with your project. So it's more like adaptable, if that helps a little bit.
Thank you, Laia. Maria, it's a challenge coming from, the first year, the students say, whoa, too much innovation. This is too much innovation. But if you think about what Laia has explained, this is not the future of the work of the workplace. It's already happening now. You are connected with several countries, working in teams with people from other cultures. So I think this is something that the graduates find very useful. Mari, we have the last question.
Yes, I was just wondering, because I'm from Norway, and our funding for university is a little bit different from a lot of other countries. So I was just wondering if, because it looked like it wasn't possible to take the first semester in Bergen. And I was just wondering if is it possible to take the whole first year abroad and then for the capstone be bound to, like, if I choose Bergen, or do you have to be able to move around for the capstone project? If that makes sense.
It will depend on you only,
Okay.
you and your interest, okay? Because normally the people get first option of the capstone, maybe the second, but yes, it would be your decision when do you want to be there. Yeah, not in the first phase, sure. However, it's true. It's not that good that I said that, but if you start in, let's say, Budapest, and you have your phase 2 in Bergen, for Erasmus Plus, this is a grant because you are moving from another country. Okay, so you will be able to move there. If you want to do energy, you can do it in the second. If you find an internship in Bergen, you can do it in the third without the grant, or if you like a capstone there. It remembers me the first edition that the people say that, but at the end they finish in another place because they change their mind through the program. So, but this is possible, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Alessandra, Femke, do you want to add something?
Yeah, maybe important to stress that this is really a joint degree, meaning that all universities are equal partners, and that also all students, if they are accepted in the program, get registered fully in all universities. And sometimes that's important for funding purposes. So you're registered in all universities as a student.
And you have the rights of full students in everywhere. And you have
Can
another...
I just add to that, please?
Yeah.
Because in Norway, it's very cheap to go to university, and these prices are way higher than what I would pay to do like another master's degree. So that was just what I was trying to like say. But that will be the same anyway, probably. Even if you go in Bergen or
Yeah, this is a joint fee. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And we have Alessandro.
Yes, I have a question about language requirement. You have said that for admission it's sufficient to have a B2 level.
Yes.
But for enrollment, SC1.
Yes.
Actually, I'm enrolled in a course in Italy, but the course is in English. Is sufficient this, or I need to have a certificate for my English?
You will need a certificate, yes. In the admissions rules and regulations, there is a list of accepted certificates. So I invite you that you check that you. There are exams that are open exams that you can do whenever in all the countries. Also, I think they are provided online with and you contact with an evaluator for that. Did I answer? Did we answer your question, Alessandro?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Felix?
Can I add something?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't know if it was clear, but if your whole program, if your whole bachelor was delivered in English, then yes, you still need to prove that it was delivered in English through the transcript of records, but you then don't need to take a C1 exam or get a specific C1 certificate, but it needs to be the whole program.
Thank you. I didn't understand.
No, yes, my program is all in English.
Yeah, then you will need
degree is in English.
You will need to just present a certificate that this is the case, and you don't need to make an exam or present an English certificate.
Okay, I understand.
Sorry, I didn't understand your question at the beginning. You see, the graduates are smarter than us. Felix, do you have another question?
Yes, I had another question, and like directly to Laia. Did you had like any study colleagues that actually worked next to the studies, and could you maybe share their experiences? Because I also did like my bachelor's in engineering here in Germany, and it's also rated as a full-time program. And for me, it was possible actually to work on the weekends. And yeah, maybe if you could just share your experience or maybe experience of your colleagues about this topic.
There was, if I can remember right, no one that worked full time, that for sure. It was people, there was some people that still maintained their old job and then reduced the hours. So they worked a small amount of hours, but something that they were already doing. And were some people that were doing, jobs on the weekend, like for example, in a bar or in a cafe, something that was like more sporadic or was shorter. I was working as a teacher a couple of hours in the afternoon, but I would say most of the things were like not even a half time, like 2-3 hours per day, or very flexible that you could adapt. Because I would say that the workload it's not impossible, but it's quite heavy. You have to do a lot of projects, so it's good at least to have flexibility. I would say a lot of people struggle if it's a very fixed schedule. If you have to be like from, I don't know, from 5 to 9 every afternoon doing specific things, then it's hard. And then a lot of people also then leave their jobs if they have to move, because that's also a struggle to maintain the job once you're moving countries and stuff like that. So a lot of people also did remote jobs that were also like flexible, not a lot of hours, and that you could just adapt in that way.
Good. Thank you. Alessandro, do you have another question, or is an old hand?
No, I don't have. Sorry.
Okay, so I think we covered exactly 7:30. Thank you for your contributions. We hope that this was useful. For us, it's always useful because we always learn from your questions, and we hope to see you in the program next year. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.